There we go. Great to see everybody in our live trading room, and of course streaming across YouTube and Facebook here with our afternoon meeting. I always like to show the Dow Industrial first, just before we begin, guys, just to get a good look across the markets. Of course, with that in mind, we do have class on the horizon coming up in just about the next 30 minutes. So what we'll do very quickly is just scan across the market through our percent gainers and losers list. But to begin, from the big gap down earlier this morning in pre-market, we ended up seeing the markets bottom out roughly over 23,000, squeezing up a bit now here, at least into the afternoon. So, the market's been playing a bit of an up and down game across the last few days, across the last week or so even. So, hopefully we could have a strong volatile close. If anything, we're just looking for a steady trend here. So if it's not within the markets entirely, it could be just across a stock that pops up on our radar. So guys, what we'll do just right now is just start from the top of the gainers list, and we'll briefly just go through seeing what's worth watching, what's not. And you know what? I mean, here's the thing. This is not a glitch here, guys, to begin, not on the TradeStation scanner, at least. LTRPB, kind of a wacky symbol, but Liberty TripAdvisor ended up making such a big squeeze up early in the morning, not just this symbol, but a couple of others. This well outside of our price range, not necessarily now, but much earlier when it was popping. If anything, though, this stock is extremely illiquid. Liberty TripAdvisor, I didn't see any news, guys. Did you see anything out there just in the live trading room here? Any news on TripAdvisor? I was checking across the board. I didn't see anything. I was thinking that this could have been just a bit of a short squeeze, a pump and dump type move. I didn't see anything. So if you guys have anything, certainly let me know. It wasn't just this stock, though. I know that our attention was more so as we go through the percent gainers list, at least for now. Much cheaper. LTRPA ended up making a very nice run up, a tradable run up, at least, that we were able to take advantage of here in the cyber group room. Ended up breaking above resistance at the time, 280. We caught this a little late off the squeeze up, but not late enough. We ended up taking advantage of this trade, at least from the 280 level. Made a nice run up, but similar to the other one we just looked at, though, kind of squeezing back down now. So I don't think that we could look to short this going into the close. I was hoping that this would be a bit closer to 3 or popping over 3 at this point. So for right now, I think we'll kind of pass on this. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday, we'll keep this back in mind, but we'll kind of pass on these for the meantime. All right, UAVS. This was one as well that we ended up calling out early here in the cyber group room. Shortly after the market opened up, ended up bottoming out at 80 cents, popped later on, ended up squeezing up towards just about the high of the day, 160. Well, again, a lot of these stocks that tend to make these morning moves end up fading off. So we tend to see the volume drop off. We tend to see more sell off here. So, at this point, this UAVS trade, it was a nice run from earlier, but for the meantime, again, we'll skip over this just for right now. Another one, CHCI. Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. Knew something was off of my charts. Didn't have the pre-market settings up. So the CHCI trade, we ended up seeing this as well, make a nice run up. A lot of stocks got halted early off of low volume runs. What goes up does come back down, though, guys. I can keep kind of going through symbol by symbol on this, but a lot of these at this point, just the move is done. Maybe they make some sort of little, sharp pop of some sort, but I'd rather focus on something that has a much steadier trend here. Another one, KOSS. Andrea just called this out. We were actually just looking at this before, so to quickly go through this was more of an afternoon move, if anything, now trading 1.3 million shares. We ended up seeing a resistance here at the time, 255. We called it out in the trading room right off the ask, about 9,000 shares. And at the time, looking at this, that's a pretty big order. So, it ended up holding, and back down she goes. So, this one, again, run's done, unfortunately. Pixie, another one, to skip over this, essentially, just want to show you the squeeze up and then the pull back down once more, but same thing. Now, I'm going through a lot of these, of course, to begin, and it seems like the move is done on a lot of them, but that's not to say we can't find anything at this point in the day, guys. Honestly, this is really the point where the gears begin revving up, so heading into the final hour of the day, we'll have a much better opportunity, especially compared to the last couple of hours from lunchtime. Here's a cheapie. VISL ended up making a new high recently, up towards 22 cents, 21.5. We normally don't focus on these, extremely cheap stocks below $1. Not to say they're penny stocks. This is listed right here on the NASDAQ. But, for right now, at least we'll put this on our list. We don't have anything to begin. So least for now, it's cheap and hopefully it could break higher. This would be a nice stock to just scalp quick for a couple of cents on a few thousand shares, 10,000 shares, 20,000 perhaps. But, that's your day's pay essentially on a trade like this. All right, here's one from the last 2 days at least. PSTI ended up running more so heading into the afternoon, broke out over 9, ended up squeezing above the high of the day back from Monday up towards now high of the day, 1076. I was just calling this out earlier as well. It was holding underneath 10 pretty nicely, and it made, for what it's worth, a shorter squeeze up, and now it's back under 10. This might be on the way back down heading into the close. Hey, if you have the shares to short this, then I'd say that would be a much better opportunity at this stage. For the type of move that this stock ended up making just from today and then back from Tuesday, got to figure a pullback's going to come here. So I wouldn't really be looking more for a pop on this trade. I'd be more looking for a drop off. All right, CALA broke a new high earlier. It is shortable for those that have a trade station. Ended up pulling back down off the high of the day, 818. For right now, at least I'll keep this on our list. Ended up making more of an afternoon pop. So, perhaps this has enough juice left in it to continue higher. But of course, if it doesn't, at this point, at least, this would be a shortable stock, perhaps. But either way, it presents itself as a good day trade heading into the close. Bit of a spread here. Just keep that in mind as well. All right, so we'll kind of just skim through this. NLS looked interesting earlier. It was a pop and drop, and after it pulled back, I kind of turned away from it. But looking at this right now, I mean, this seems like a really good opportunity here. It's holding underneath major resistance at 550. You could see currently off the ask, 5,200 share order at 549, and got to figure at a 50-cent level, 550. That's going to be a pretty big point as well. So, if anything, this could be a really good breakout trade heading into the close. NLS. Old familiar name here, BNGO at least. We used to follow this across the last, I'd say 6 months, if anything, just up and down, not every day. Yeah, big move here, if anything. This was back in just about mid-October. You lose track of these small cap stocks that make these, wacky pops and runs. But this was a really nice trade at the time. BNGO, unfortunately, though, man, this thing pulled back quite a bit, at least heading into the afternoon today, and has a very steady trend, looking very strong. I was calling this out earlier. This was lingering around 40 cents and, of course, still kind of holding underneath highs right now. This looks like a beautiful Fausto flag. And right as I'm speaking here comes the pop. So BNGO, at least for now, we'll put on our list too. All right, so let me see here, guys. I think that I'm just going to skim through the rest of the gainer side. I want to look at mRNA, a stock that was breaking all-time highs earlier, and it seems to be only continuing. mRNA, one of the earlier Corona stocks, as we like to call it, that came out with news in relation to a potential vaccine. So, we've had our eye on this stock, on and off for a long while. So this stock, certainly with now breaking new all-time highs, certainly will look to add this to the top of the watch list. mRNA spreads are tight too, keep in mind. So, I would expect that to open up a bit more if this only continues to pop. It looks like we ended up seeing a lot of volume just get filled a little bit earlier here right before we started. Let's see. You know what? I want to dig through time and sales right now. Let's do some good old-fashioned tape reading for right now, guys. We just went over this in class earlier. What time is that at? 20. I got to go back like another minute. That's it. There we go. Look at all of the prints filled here on the time and sales, guys, at 38. So what that indicates is that we ended up seeing a big order on the ask get filled. It was holding underneath 38. You could see the big volume breakout from that point, moved up 35 cents instantly. So, you got to figure that 38 level, very strong here, even at this stage. So keep a good eye on that. And of course, really at this point, just if it continues to pop, got to figure 50-cent levels, whole numbers, just incrementally on the way up. Alrighty, so we have a good list from the gainer side, at least for now, guys. If there's anything else, just guys here in the trading room, let me know. Guys and gals, of course, I should say. Let's hop over to the losers list here, see if there's anything else we could add from this side. A bunch of stuff hard to borrow is always near the top of the losers. This PFNX making a small squeeze up. A bit of a spread. smaller orders on the ECN book there on level 3. So for right now, I'll pass. I mean, it's shortable for those that have a trade station, but it doesn't mean we're going to just trade it. ENBL, cheapy. It's really not doing too much, though. Fix, this one, very low volume traded. I don't know why I clicked on this to even start, but only trading 162,000 shares. That's very little here at this point in the day. Express, there's not really too much, guys, from this side at this point going into the afternoon. Just briefly running through. I tend to say that a lot on the loser side, but at least heading into the close today, markets are squeezing up, so there's not a whole lot already down big. Just let me see here from the chat board. I'll run a quick scan otherwise, but let's see. Okay, here we go. From Jeff, we have Tilray, stock that we've been following pretty much on and off for a while. Speaking of short squeezes. Yeah, Tilray is pushing up a bit, but not enough really for us to put an eye on it for right now, Jeff. I had my eyes on 7 earlier this morning, so you may have heard me call that setup out, but for now, not just yet. Perhaps tomorrow. I'd love to trade Tilray. Don't get me wrong. I honestly love this stock. Just looking at the last couple of weeks, looking at the daily chart, a couple of big up days that we've caught. It's done nice. What do we have? RAD at 1450 support, says Jeff. I mean, that's a good setup, Jeff. Don't get me wrong. It's a double, triple bottom essentially there right off of 1450. It is shortable as well. It's down 6% as well. I mean, it's down big on the day today. I know that news was coming out, or earnings. I think that's tomorrow morning, if I'm not mistaken, right, guys? I have that up on my earnings calendar at least here. So you know what? We'll add it right in, RAD, to our list. It's a good call. UAVS makes drones that deliver packages, says Bonnie. That was just from earlier, so that's pretty interesting to know, Bonnie. Cool to know the news. It's nice that it pushed up. It was a good trade earlier. And, for right now, for what it's worth, it is holding support nicely off 120. VWAP's at 116. So, this stock is still very tradable. I'd say very heavily traded. Could be exhausted out from the morning run. So for that reason, I'm not going to put this on our list. But, hopefully it does pop and I'm wrong. And this would be a very nice trade, at least from there, Bonnie, if I'm wrong. From Craig, AMRN pop. Let's take a look at that. Another stock that we've been following just over the last, really, week and a half. Big gap down over 75%. That was dating back 2 weeks ago here. Pushing up now, don't get me wrong. Tradable stock. I love AMRN too. We've been following this, like I just said, almost every day. For right now, we'll pass. Just not up or down a whole lot. I mean, I'd rather just go through the scanners if there's nothing really else that's moving too sharply or up or down a whole lot. If there's anything else, I'll take a quick look here otherwise. All right, so let's see. PSTI popped up on my scan. We went over that one already. Any of these cheapies, perhaps. CAPR popped up. This is a stock that we've been following for a little bit. See how this one's doing. Dropping off. Can't short it, I don't think so. I'm going to pass, but recent move down at least. All right, I'll tell you what, guys. I don't really see any other familiar names on my scans here. Maybe GNMK, stock that we traded maybe a week ago. Uh-oh, trade station charts. It was moving up nicely up until now. Not up a whole lot, at least there. All right. You know what, guys? I think that we're good to go at this point. So far, not too big of a list, which is fine by me. I always like to say this, but it's true. I tend to pad the list going into the afternoons, guys. I like to see the potential in a lot of opportunities, but that's not always a good thing, at least. So we're keeping it simple here this afternoon. We have about 6 stocks to work with going into the close. And aside from that, though, guys, keep in mind, like I'd said earlier, we do have class beginning in the next 15 minutes time from right now. So like I'd said, I'm going to jump into class and get ready. So before I do that, just again, guys, I'll look to post the watch list here and again across Facebook and Twitter. Our handles just across social media, guys, cybertradingu at cybertradingu. And for all of our YouTube and Facebook viewers watching us on the live stream here, thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to learn more about what we offer here at Cyber Trading University, again, feel more than free to call our office right at the number down below on the banner. And again, aside from that, I hope to see you all in class coming up soon. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day today.